allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Joe Do Jr. And I just wanted to, it's been on my heart lately to just really help someone. I don't know who, but I'm just give you some wisdom. My pastor said something to me that really resonated in my spirit. He said that you do not have to continue to allow experience to be your teacher if you let wisdom be your tutor. And when he spoke that to me, I realized that I have a lot of wisdom that I can give someone else and in turn help them so they don't have to keep up in their head or just have a clear sight line of a goal or something of that sort to really help them, right? So I've been through a lot in my life. I'm sure like everyone else has. I think I know the main thing that helped me was the way that I saw it and the way that I internalized all of the things that have happened in my life, right? So I got this thing where I've said to myself, you change your mind, you change your life. And from there, I changed the way that I see and the way that I think. Because I realized what I see, if I think negatively, I'm going to see everything from a negative standpoint. So I had to make that shift in my life to where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to look at it from a negative standpoint because it could always be negative, but it could always be positive as well. So I'm going to always look at the good in something over the bad because that's how I want my life to be. I want to only focus on the good and not the bad because everybody has problems. No one's exempt from problems. So why would I keep dwelling on them? So for me, right, like somebody may say, oh dang, I just got laid off, I lost my job, damn, I'm out of a job, right? And that's one way you could look at it, like, yeah, you're unemployed, right? But for me, I like to look at it as why am I currently unemployed at this time? Like I love asking myself why. Asking why with any situation, just why. When you ask the why, it changes the dynamic of whatever you're looking at, right? So, for instance, a few years ago, I had a bad ankle injury that kept bothering me. Eventually, I got put in a walking boot to help try to heal the ankle, right? I eventually had to have surgery because that didn't work, but at this moment, I was in a walking boot. I was on leave from a job that I was currently working there, I think, 4 years, and my thought process was like, I'm tired of working this job, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. It was comfortable. They just gave us like a $3 pay raise. Wasn't doing too much. I wasn't doing strenuous work. It just was like, I'm tired, ready for something different. I remember I once spoke to some of my coworkers. I told them that I would have rather go somewhere to work harder to make more money. And they was like, you sound like a fool. We make the same amount of money the plants make. I said, yeah, but it's not no money, like in comparison to the things that I'm really trying to do. And they looked at me like, you just sound stupid. I said, okay, no problem. That's just how I feel. But, so I'm in the walking boot. I'm on leave from work. I'm like, man, like, what is there I can do? Why am I in this boot? And I was like, okay, well, let me figure something out. So I had this thought. I had a friend of mine who drove semi-trucks. And I saw how he went from nothing to something and driving trucks. So I was like, okay, cool. I never thought I'd do this, but I mean, it's a different, and it has the potential to earn me more income, and I could change the way I'm living, right? So I go to orientation for the truck driving school, right? And the instructor said, you know you can't shift the truck with a boot on, right? I said, you ain't gotta wear this boot to be off by the time class start. So what I would do is I would wear this boot every day up until 5 o'clock time class start. So for 3 days out the week, for about a little over a month, I would unstrap my walking boot, limp myself all the way into class, And we had a simulator here that some days we get on the simulator, some days we do book work, and then eventually we got out into the truck. So I would knock out the simulator, because the simulator you just really got to simulate that you can actually pay attention to what's going on, and learn how to we was learning how to shift gears to make sure we wasn't double clutching. We was actually going through all of the gears, and then actively learning how to downshift so it could prepare you to get in the truck and do it for real, right? So I would I would always volunteer to go first so I can sit back and let my ankle take as much pressure off my ankle as possible, right? I was uncomfortable in the mud doing this, but I'm like, I gotta do something different. So eventually we got out in the truck, learning how to do that, learning how to shift gears, learning how to, make your 90-degree turn, straight line back, and all of those things, right? So alley dot. So I'm doing this. They giving me instruction. I'm always gonna be the first to volunteer. Because even if I mess up, I'm gonna get more opportunities than the next, because while everybody's trying to figure out who gonna go first, I'll just go first. Because in that time, y'all can still figure it out. I already had a chance. And then by that time, y'all may still be uncomfortable doing it. I get another opportunity. Fine by me. That's how I just operate, right? So I'm in there learning. Then at the time class over, I went back to the car, put the boot on, and go home. I did this about a month and a half before I took the test. Passed on the first try, and I got a job, and I was hauling cars to from the Big Three, right, to rail yards. And it was different. My schedule changed. I was working from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. With a little flexibility, if I get the load delivered a little quickly, I can go home. I got paid based upon load, my performance. It wasn't an hourly job. It was a shift for me. But I adjusted. I eventually went and doubled my income, which was cool. It allowed me to do more. Really, I did a lot more saving because of the way the system that I was in was operating. I didn't have time to spend money. From 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., I get up at maybe 10, 11, make me something to eat. Then you gotta mentally prepare yourself to go back to work. So it wasn't that much time to do anything, which was fine. I saved up a lot of money, and I was able to do more in the future. It afforded me an opportunity to do more, and that's something that I've always wanted to be able to do, is be able to afford an opportunity. A lot of us aren't able to afford that opportunity because we're in survival mode, and I always work to try to get out of survival mode, because there's a lot of life out here to live outside of survival mode. So whatever you gotta do to get out of survival mode that is ethical, I will work to do so, because out of survival mode is just different. And then you could see differently outside of survival mode too, because in survival mode, you don't even see what's right here in your face. You don't even be, your opinion of what's going on around you is different, because you only can see right here. So anytime something is of anything outside of what's in your face, you either don't care about it or have a negative opinion about it, because it's something you don't even feel is attainable, has nothing to do with you, which could be a good thing. Or a sense of just not seeing clear, right? It's really like the blind, really, but that's a whole nother conversation. But if you change your mind, you can change your life, right? I realized in that moment that I had to get uncomfortable. I had to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I say that because everything you want in life is on the other side of uncomfortable. I cannot stress this enough. Everything you want is on the other side of uncomfortable. Because in comfort, you're going to continue to get what you're getting. You have to break the monotony of the same thing to see different. Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. We often hear the definition of insanity is when you keep doing something but expecting different. So if you understand that, then you understand that you're really gonna continue to get what you've been getting. The only way you can have different is do different. And which really in turn keeps me motivated to do more, because the way I feel is that you end up on a level of where you settle. And that goes for how far you want to go, how high you want to reach, or how low you're willing to just live, right? Like, there's always someone who has a worse situation. And you always hear about someone persevering. And for me, that's where I find gratefulness in, because no matter whatever your situation is, there's somebody out here with a worse situation than yours. So in that, and knowing that, just being grateful for you being where you are and not where you could be, not where someone else is enough to be grateful for. And in being grateful in that, I learned lessons along my way, along my journey, to understand why I was in this space. Because like I told you before, like, I love asking myself why. If I can get the answer to the why, it makes everything worth it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that it's not hard. Sometimes, like, you don't. But once again, being uncomfortable. So I find gratitude, and I'm grateful for everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Like, I'm very spiritual. Like, the Lord set the end from the beginning. So if this is the journey of my life and He chose to put me on this path, I'm going to learn all of the lessons I can along the way, because He chose this path for me. And even when I get off the path, He still rocks it back for me because of my understanding of He dying for me. And I'm only saying this because I need you to really, really, really hear me. Like, no matter whatever your situation is, it will get better if you believe it to be so. I've come from places where most people do not survive. And I've lost a lot of people along the way. Like, growing up in Detroit, it really reprograms your mind. Like, you don't even get to fully understand who you are until you really get out of Detroit. Because Detroit is really a survival place. Like, you can't even walk down the street without turning your head, because somebody this is me growing up. It's a lot better now, but somebody may try to turn around and rob you. So growing up conditioned that way, you really learn not to trust. You really learn to always make sure you got your back, because nobody gonna take care of you like you. My granddad growing up used to always tell me, you gotta take care of number one, and number one is you. And since he's been gone, that's been a principle that's been stuck in my head. Like, it made sense then, but it hits even harder now. Like, if you're not good, then how can you be good for someone else? And that helped me also cope with stress, right? I ain't cope, just not even stress about it. Because I realized that in my faith walk and me getting closer to God, that worrying is an idol. I'm worshiping the worry. And I'm worshiping the stress, because I'm putting that over prayer, I'm putting that over who I know God to be, I'm putting that over His Word. And I had to learn to cut that out, because um, money is not the only idol that you can worship, right? You can really make an idol out of anything. And me stressing, I'm making an idol out of the word. And I had to develop this mind frame. Like growing up, this is why I said like understanding the way your life is set up. Like it was a guy that used to always come to my grandfather's house who used to say, it is what it is. He used to have a funny accent, but it is what it is. It's very simple, but it's very true. If it is what it is and you cannot control it, why are you stressing about it? There is no need to stress about it if you cannot do anything about it. And if you can, do your best to change it. It's that simple. I found myself worrying more about other people's issues than they were worrying about it themselves. And I was like, whoa, no way that I'm doing this. But it was subconscious because I cared so much and I was trying to fix that issue and they weren't even concerned about it. Part of the reason they was in survival mode and that part, whatever it was not as serious as what was directly in front of their face. So, yeah, it would have helped them if I fixed it, but they like, I got way other problems besides this one to be worried about, and you worried about this one. So, I had to let it go. But in me letting it go, so much peace and freedom came. I don't know who needs to hear this and who listening to this. Let it go. They're going to be all right. They're going to be okay. They have no other choice but to be. Focus on yourself to get yourself out of the situation that you are in. The further you go, the more help you could be to them, right? Right now, the little help that you want to give them is not enough of what they need. So take that help that you was going to give them and pour it back into yourself. Your future self is going to thank you, and they are going to thank you because now that they will be able to actually feel the help and see the help and utilize the help in its fullest potential in the future because the amount of help will be greater than what it is now and make a bigger impact. Man, I felt that because it took me a long time to understand that. A long time. But once again, I'm grateful that I learned it because now that I learned it, I can share it with you. I come from a place of just only want to be genuine help. I am, some people that my proximity call me Uncle Joe, some just call me Joe, they always say I got this old soul, old spirit, but I grew up around a lot of people from all types of people. Like, I done got wisdom from drunks, I done got wisdom from drug addicts, I done got wisdom from elderly people that may have been handicapped or just dealt with life hit them hard. I done got wisdom from people who doing great in life, some who had it and lost it, some got it back, some still trying to get it back. I've learned from so many different people in my life. I'm grateful for it all. It's like getting a degree, but instead of you paying the tuition, you paying with life experiences. So when my pastor said you don't have to continue to allow experience to be your teacher, if you let wisdom be your tutor, it summed it all up for me. All of it. I was like, you're right. You're right. And that also led me to work to surround myself around more wisdom people so I can bring in more tutors into my life to help me. Because contrary to popular belief, a lot of people still trying to figure it out. I don't care whatever level that they on, they're still trying to figure it out. Me being in real estate has really taught me that. I've helped people buy their first home, I've helped people buy their 15th home. Like, a lot of people are trying to figure out, I've had people sell their homes for a multitude of reasons. And they are still trying to figure it out. And that has helped me understand that you do not have to have it all figured out before you can do anything. They always say you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I'm telling you, start. That's what led me to this hoodie. I don't know if y'all really been paying attention to this hoodie, but I realized that you really are your decisions. You really, really, truly are your decisions. Whatever you decide to move to make or the thing to do has repercussions. Whether you decide to eat bad, you're gonna grow good or look bad. Like, you're gonna feel unhealthy, you're gonna feel slouchy, gain a whole lot of weight. Clothes not gonna fit how you want to fit. You're gonna be wearing 4 t-shirts in the summertime or a hoodie in the summertime. Like, you're gonna be self-conscious about your body because of the decisions that you make, right? But it all starts with a choice to decide that I want to be better. And then maybe that goes from like me. Like, nobody even told me that I was big. Like, I was 250 pounds. Right now I'm 203. Nobody even told me that I was gaining that weight. They just allowed me to just continue to gain weight. I realized that I was buying bigger pants, or I started buying jogging pants and not actually wearing pants, because jogging pants got elastic, they stretch. But I had to look at myself in the mirror and see that I was overweight. Gut was huge, face was swole, and I made a decision. I'm gonna stop eating fast food, stop drinking pop, and I do all this stuff cold turkey. Like, whatever I say I'm gonna do, I do it. Because I gotta hold myself accountable. If I don't, then who else will? You need to get you somebody that can help you, but you gotta make the decision for yourself that I want better. And I'm not gonna stop until I get better. And I'm gonna surround myself with people who's doing better so they can teach me how to do better. You don't have to do it alone, you have to do it on your own, but just surround yourself or start change the people you follow on social media to those of like minds or who you want to be or where you see yourself being. So they can give you the nuggets and the gems, and because success leaves clues. So, like, I don't know if y'all played Grand Theft Auto, but San Andreas was the best Grand Theft Auto. But it was a mission with CJ and with the smoke. They was on the train, and you had to. It was on a motorcycle when you had to follow the train and shoot the guys off the train, right? But the mission was hard because it just driving a motorcycle on the game was kind of hard in the first place. Well, for me it was. But I failed the mission about 10 times, maybe 20. And I used to get frustrated because at the end he would always say, all you had to do was follow the train, CJ. He made it seem so simple. I mean, true, that was the objective, was to follow the train so you could shoot the people off of it. If you lost the train, they get away. But it don't. It's nooks and crannies and traffic and everything else that you're trying to do, the rocks and hills and valleys where you really got to maneuver through to follow the train. And it's like, that's how you operate in life if you don't surround yourself around people who've already went ahead of the train. Because they make it as smooth as possible along your journey if you just follow clues. It makes the train a whole lot easier to follow. And when I understood that, it brought me to a place of, okay, I'm growing, but the people that I'm around, they behind me on the train. So let me go look and find some people that's already went ahead of me so I can be around them. But when I found these people, the habits that I was once partaking in, or not even the habits that I haven't even picked up yet, these new people, these people that went ahead of me, either picked up the good habits that now I'm trying to learn, or they put down the bad habits that I now have to put down. But in that, it led me to not be with the people that's behind me on the train because they not ready to do either one of those things. So that led me to a point in my life where I became like isolated within myself and my wife, of course. It just me, like people that I thought I was gonna be around forever, people that I still love to this day. But I can't. Everybody can't go. That's everybody can't go. And if they meant to be, they will be. But you gotta move forward for yourself. Like I said, you gotta take care of number one, and number one is you, right? So I started picking up healthier habits. I started making decisions. I started to set my alarm clock earlier. Started going to the gym. Not eating fast food. Finding out what my body actually needs to operate so I can give it that. Because my body is my temple and I want to treat it as such. I wanted to treat, I'm going to treat it good so it can treat me well, you know. And yeah, the food tastes good. It tastes great. Like the old food, right? I ain't saying that the new food is nasty, but it don't taste like the disobedience. Disobedience tastes great, right? But it ain't worth it. Cause I don't wanna hold all that. What really got me conscious of how much I was carrying, I started doing calisthenics workouts. And when I couldn't hold a plank for 2 seconds, I was like, I'm carrying all, it was my own body weight and I couldn't hold it up for 2 seconds. I said, oh no, this got to go. This got to go. Let alone do a pull-up. Well, I couldn't help myself for 2 seconds. I couldn't do 2 push-ups. I was like, no, this gotta go. And I worked, but I started with one. I said, I'll make a decision that I need to get right with my push-ups. I need to get this weight off me, so I changed my eating habits. And I started doing one push-up. Like I told you, get wisdom from a whole lot of different people, right? At one time in my life, I worked at Popeyes. And I met a guy who was the same age. And he was in a certain situation and circumstances led him in prison. He was in a house that they selling drugs out of, and he was part of a raid with the prison. He was out of shape. He said, old guy in prison told him that just start with one and just continue to do one over and over again until you can compound on ones, compound interest in life, right? So that thought resonated in my head to start with one. So I did one push-up, and then I did one push-up again, then I did one push-up again, then I did one push-up again until I was able to compound on to 5 at a time, to 10 at a time, to 20 at a time, to 25 at a time. I set manageable goals, 30 at a time. Then I got to like, all right, let me just do 32. Then I got to 40 at a time, then I got to 50 at a time. You know, like I'm just building myself up. But I appreciated the steps I started. Instead of me trying to take a whole foot, I took an inch. Like something that's tangible, that's manageable, that I can reach. So when I get there, I can celebrate myself and reaching there and continue on going. Because I still got ways to go, but I'm going to celebrate along my journey. That's another lesson that I had to learn, is to celebrate my journey. If I celebrate along my way, it gives me the opportunity to become better, but also give myself the credit that I'm doing a great job. And in me doing a great job, the celebration comes, and I'm thankful. And then in me doing a great job, I can see progress. Like clothes, I went from a 42 to a 36. Like clothes fit totally different. I could fit stuff that I couldn't normally wear before. Like I can actually care about clothes at this point where I'm actually putting stuff together to dress, you know, like I just feel great, man. Quick note, if y'all want this hoodie, I'm gonna put a pre-order up for it. myself, but I think I'm gonna share it with the world. I don't know. More people need to understand that. I need you to hear me when I say this. You are the only you. Stop putting your expectations on other people. Just because it's something that you would have done does not mean it's something that they would have done. And I need you to stop getting mad when they don't do the things that you would have done for them. They do not have it. And then you putting expectations on people, all you're going to do is make yourself upset and mad. Because they didn't do what you thought they should have done. Understand who they are and expect them to be who they are. That way, anything they do extra outside of the norm of who you know them to be is extra. It's a plus. Show gratitude in that, be thankful, but understand it's a plus. Until they become better, until they change, until you see growth in them, expect them to be who they are. Like I learned that with my parents. Like I used to feel as though that they should have been more. And because of who I thought parents should be, right? Because I felt like I needed to learn more and they didn't have it to teach me. But I realized, like I said before, like I've gotten wisdom from drunks, I've gotten wisdom from drug addicts, I've gotten wisdom from a lot of different people from a lot of walks of life. And my parents only gave me what they had to give. And it was enough. It has helped me become who I am. I'm grateful for my father and I'm grateful for my mother. They are the best parents anyone could have asked for. They shaped and molded me to me. And it took me a while to really learn that and really be excited for that. But I made it. Nobody told me that to be grateful for your parents. Like the Bible say, honor thy mother and thy father, but I ain't know the Bible to really understand that. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And if you're somebody who didn't have a mother or didn't have a father or you missed a parent, just know God ain't forget about you. You've had multiple moms in multiple forms. Just take a thought, just take a second and think on how many women have come into your life that has been great and has taught you valuable life lessons from a woman's perspective. God ain't forget about you. And vice versa on the father's side. You may have had uncle, cousin, brother, neighbor, guy from across the street, guy from around the corner, teacher at school, like a combination of all. You may even see me as an uncle. Like, but you wasn't left behind. You wasn't left out by no means at all. I just need you to see it from that way so you can fully get its full value out of it. Because they're there to help you. These people in your life for a reason. Find out why. Until next time, I love y'all.